Hello there again, YouTubers. Once again, I, your gothic host with the most, Knox Burzum, back to bringing more blasphemous banter. And today is going to be close to the end of our own Satanic Panic. The last couple of chapters here. First up, we have The House of the Devil from 2009, a T.I. West joint, Ty West joint rather, rated at R, hour and 35 minutes. This was a very independent production. Director Ty West, written by Ty West, also edited by Ty West. I think Ty West might have put up the money for this movie. Just a sneaking suspicion. Your top billed cast coming with Jocelyn Donahue as Samantha, Tom Noonan as Mr. Ullman. We've got Mario Woronov as Mrs. Ullman. We got Greta Gerwig as Megan. A.J. Bowen as Victor Ullman, and Dee Wallace as the landlady. And that's all that really matters. Your 30-second blurb. In 1983, financially struggling college student Samantha Hughes takes a strange babysitting job that coincides with a full lunar eclipse. She slowly realizes her clients harbor a terrifying secret, putting her life in mortal danger, which is not a super accurate description of the film, but I get why the blurb says that. So, first of all, the editing in this movie, absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed the heck out of how this thing was cut. I enjoyed how it was paced, even though, well, okay, that's not entirely true. I didn't entirely enjoy how it was paced. I liked how it was edited, and I liked how it was shot. How it was paced, this movie could have easily been half an hour shorter. I'm not gonna lie, half an hour of this thing is just her walking around. And doing other mundane shit that fills up the time slot. The whole idea is that it's covering the time between when she gets to the house and all the way until midnight when the lunar eclipse actually happens, which is when the plot line of the movie actually occurs. And it's almost impossible to talk about this movie without spoilers, so I guess I'm just going to go through my main points that I always do, and then it's just going to be spoiler territory from here on out, because much like Dracula and Horror Guru, I'm having a terrible fucking time thinking of how to describe this film without spoiling, like, most of the important shit. I thought that the costuming was really good. I believe that everyone was in the 1980s. I enjoyed how the whole idea of actual satanic panic, which kind of ironically coincides with what I've kind of nicknamed this week, started off the film. Literally, there's a little bit of information at the beginning that says, you know, in the 1980s, there was this satanic wave, yada, yada, yada. The public actually believes that there was lots of cults running around, harming people, and the movie would have us believe that what we're about to see is based directly on true events, and that it's basically that, you know, like, names have been changed and places have been changed, but this actually happened, which I really sincerely doubt this happened. But the vehicles were accurate, the headphones she wore were accurate, you know, cassette tape, shitty wall phone with a rotary dial on it, black and white, monster movies on TV, you know, everything was very period accurate, so I give it that. The sound design, I really enjoyed the sound design. I could tell that almost nothing was actually happening on set, but I thought that it was very effective how the sound effects themselves were used. It made it seem like the house might be occupied by something, but that something, of course, never showed itself. That's what most of the hour-long buildup is. What else? I liked the little bit of creature design that they had at the very end, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But I thought that the minimal use of the mask and nothing else much to denote what the thing was actually very effective, especially when you consider this thing was shot for, I think, babe, didn't you say this was like for $100,000 or some bullshit?
900,000.
For 900,000, which even in 2009, I mean, that was relatively nothing to shoot a movie on, and this was only really released in like small areas and at film festivals. It made back only a couple of $1,000, so this wasn't meant to like win Oscars or anything. It was obviously a passion project, and I kind of respect that about it. It made really good use of minimal sets and minimal locations. And let's see here. What else? Let's see here. IMDb's got this coming in at 6.3 out of 10. The user rating, yeah, just the 6.3. Metacritic score of 73, so not bad. And it does, Metascore here is very right. It does very well pay homage to the 80s actual Satanic Panic Wave films. You kind of felt like it might have been a holdover from that. Parents Guide, sex and nudity, none. Violence and gore, severe, which, yes, it is severe because of the 2 or 3 uses of it. Very fucking well done. Extraordinarily graphic. In fact, it was so graphic compared with the rest of the film that I actually got shocked. Which I didn't think was going to happen. Profanity, mild, almost non-existent. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking, mild, practically non-existent. Frightening and intense scenes, severe. The couple of scenes that happen that are scary, yeah. It's such a hard and abrasive turn from what the whole rest of the film is that I would consider that severe. Let's see here. How can we watch this? Wow, worldwide gross, yeah, $101,000 on a $900,000 budget. Oof. This was not meant to make money, apparently. Hey, babe, did you say that you knew how you could view this thing?
Yeah, just a second.
Thanks. What would you give this out of 10?
6.5.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the consensus is gonna end up being about a 6.5. I would love to give it a higher score, but it is such
It's not bad, but like it was a slow burn, and now I want to know like the actual answer. I don't want to wonder.
I know, and that's...
You can watch it on Plex for free, and you don't have to pay for Plex, to my knowledge, right?
Right.
Yeah, they can watch it on Plex for free.
Okay, that is how it's available. Otherwise, I'm sure it's available somewhere to buy, like on Amazon. Probably through DVD, though.
Oh, it's telling me you can watch it for free on Vudu. You can watch it with ads on Tubi, Redbox, Pluto, Peacock, Freevee, Peacock Premium, Shudder, Criterion Channel. You can rent it on YouTube, Vudu, Microsoft, Google Play, Apple TV, Amazon, and Alamo, and you could buy it on all of those too.
Excellent. I'm gonna give it a 7 only because I kind of like schlocky horror, and I'm very impressed at how true to 80s cult film it is. So I like that about it. I'm not going to give it any higher than a 7, though. It doesn't deserve anything higher than that. The story was the story was not long enough for an hour and a half long film. I feel this would have made a much better and more taut 50-minute venture at a purely at a film festival, or you could have double featured this with something else and it would have been fine. That having been said, if you really want to watch a throwback to the 80s, watch this. If you're not big on 80s satanic films, then this movie is simply enough for you. And from here on out is spoilers. So, in 1983, frustrated with living in the dorms with her oversexed and messy roommate, Samantha Hughes rents a small apartment. Although the landlady agrees not to charge her a deposit, Samantha still needs to come up with $300 for the first month's rent, and she mentions that she has $85 in her account, which I think is very risky, but that's my opinion. She answers an advertisement for a babysitting job. As a result, the man who placed the ad tells her that he and his wife need her that night while they attend a party to watch the lunar eclipse. The moon will be entirely in the Earth's shadow at midnight. Although he behaves oddly on the phone, Samantha's desperation leads her to accept the offer. Her best friend, Megan, drives her to the job, which is at a secluded house in the middle of fucking nowhere. There, Mr. Ullman, the man who placed the ad, reveals that Samantha will not be babysitting but taking care of his elderly mother-in-law, or he claims this at least. Samantha tries to back out, but when Mr. Ullman offers her a whole $400 freaking dollars, she agrees to stay over Megan's objections because, I mean, really, who wouldn't? Megan, her friend, leaves. On the drive home, she stops in a nearby cemetery to have a smoke. When her lighter malfunctions, a young man, Victor, suddenly appears in her window, offers her a light. He then asks if she's the babysitter. When she says no, Victor shoots her in the face, killing her. And damn, does he ever shoot her in the face. We see it later, and holy crap, is it visceral. It's one of the only 2 times in this whole movie that violence gets used, and it's really kind of intense. Samantha meets Mrs. Ullman when she emerges from the basement. Mrs. Ullman explains she was looking for her furs that makes Samantha uncomfortable by commenting on how desirable she must be to young boys, which I found weird too. The Ullmans give Samantha half of the babysitting fee plus some money to order pizza. Mr. Ullman assures Samantha that the mother-in-law will be of no trouble and will probably keep herself in her upstairs room. They also leave a phone number when they can be reached if anything goes wrong. I'm not gonna lie, I was very confused by the end of his scene as to why the hell she was even being hired, because the way that he makes his mom sound, she doesn't fucking need help. He tells her outright that she's A, very independent, B, is actually very mobile, and C, really takes care of herself as it is inside the house. So it is immediately suspicious as to why she's even been called out there. Samantha tries to do homework, but finds that the house is too damn creepy, which it is. She orders a pizza and, while dancing around the house listening to her Walkman, accidentally breaks a vase. While cleaning it up, she sees that the closet that she's cleaned directly in front of is full of fur coats, which confuses her for obvious reasons. She also finds a box of photos of a family other than the Ullmans posing in front of the house and a car that Samantha saw early in the driveway. Victor delivers the pizza to Samantha, then wanders around the property to keep an eye on her. Unbeknownst to Samantha, the family she saw in the photos lies slaughtered in an upstairs bedroom, arranged as parts of a bloody pentagram, which is a great shot, by the way. It's one of like 4 or 5 really good views in this movie, and I enjoyed the shit out of that one. I just wish that we gotten to see her witness it at all, which was a little disappointing. Samantha hears strange noises. Armed with a knife, she goes to explore the attic. At midnight, all of the lights in the house blow out. Samantha sees a hand open the attic door and she passes out. When she awakes, she is gagged and tied to a slab in the basement, surrounded by satanic symbols. The Ullmans, including their son, Victor, and a dwarfish demon, enter. The demon draws a pentagram on Samantha's belly, then tries to force her to drink blood from a bizarre animal skull. This, by the way, is the one use of special effects in the movie I was talking about that I was kind of happy with, even though it was very minimalist. You only ever see one hand from this beastie and the face a few times. And I really enjoyed how skin-toned and realistically moving the mask was, because you can tell it's not the person's real face, but at the same time, it doesn't look fake enough to be like something that takes you out of the narrative. So I enjoyed that, because I like prosthetics and I like practical effects. So, Victor, let's see here, tries to make her drink from the blazed skull. Samantha breaks free of her bonds and rushes upstairs. She sees Megan's body in the kitchen and grabs a knife. Victor chases her, though, and shoots her in the shoulder, but she slits his throat, which, fuck yes, what an asshole that guy is, killing him. Samantha is racked with abdominal pain and flashes of a demonic face, which is very similar to the one scene from The Exorcist, the original movie, which I was kind of impressed at because I think it was a throwback and an homage to that scene. Mrs. Ullman corners her in the bedroom and tells her that it is too late for Samantha to alter the plan. Mrs. Ullman is distracted when she believes the eclipse is sending her a message from Satan, because that makes sense, and Samantha stabs her in the back. Grabbing Victor's gun, Samantha flees from the house, pursued by Mr. Ullman, who was wounded when Samantha escaped it from the basement. She stabbed him right in the stomach, but the dude is apparently up and walking just fine. He tries to calm her down and tells her that Satan will arrive as soon as the eclipse is over. Believing it to be the only solution, Samantha shoots herself in the head. Local newscasters talk about how astronomers are confused that the moon seemed to move through the eclipse more quickly than it should have. No one understands really why. Samantha lays comatose in a hospital bed, but she and her baby are expected to make a full recovery. That's right, she is now pregnant. We're pretty sure it's with the Antichrist. things about this movie that I can't stand. One, they ask questions that are never going to be answered. And two, to be completely honest, I didn't enjoy the fact that a movie that should have been 50 minutes long was stretched out to an hour and a half. It was like, I don't mind slow burns. I love the movie The Vitch. I really enjoy Hereditary. I really enjoy Midsummer. This had no real content. That's the problem. Those other movies all have something going on during the slow burn to keep you engaged with the narrative, and this really didn't. We were honestly both kind of waiting for the next thing to happen, because we were like, I don't know about Val, but for more than half the movie I was like, man, you would think that something's about to happen like any minute here.
Nope.
But no, they just keep on building tension, and after a while, by the way, the tension becomes so distracting and so annoying that you just kind of shake it off, and you're like, no, I think this movie's just fucking with me. And I'll be totally honest, towards the end of the film, I started to believe that it was going to be some sort of a fake out, honestly. Because nothing happens until the last, from the 30-minute mark roughly, nothing happens until 10 minutes from the ending. The entire rest of the film is just dead air, essentially. It's her wandering around the house. So, in conclusion, what do I think of this film? Like I said, it's alright. I liked it enough that I'll probably watch it again, just not anytime too soon, because there's not a lot to it, and it will get boring upon multiple rewatches unless you're like watching with friends, or to analyze the style of filmmaking itself. As a slow burn, I think it kind of fails at its job because it doesn't keep the watcher engaged well enough to be worth an hour and a half. As a horror film, it is pretty par for the course, I guess. Almost subpar, but stop it, you two. But like I said, there's those couple of shocking scenes, and that at least subverted my expectations enough that I would be willing to, see it's worth a 7. No, fuck it, 6.5. I'm being too nice here. Would I recommend it? If you're a huge fan of slow burns, yeah, sure. If you're a huge fan of 80s horror, yeah, sure. If you want to see anything with any excitement level or guaranteed scares, no, you can skip this one. So, peace, love, heavy fucking metal. Please like, comment, subscribe. Bye!